If somebody tells you that their name is Kenny, don't call them LaRon. If they tell you their name is John, don't say, hey, did you say your name was Tony? Because people are going to be like, ugh, how you not remember Tony? Like, that's a simple name. See, when somebody that you're talking to is delivering a message to you, listen with intention. If people are telling you about themselves and you want to be their friend, if you don't listen with intention, people are going to notice you're not really paying attention to what they're saying. They're not really going to want to talk to you. They're going to be like, I had to repeat myself to you because you called me Jason 15 times when I told you my name is Todd. That's going to make somebody not really want to be your friend. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying. What I do, if you have a name that's like kind of rather unique, my wife, her name is Yesenia. Some people might kind of find that name a little bit hard to remember initially. So what I would do, I would put yes and yeah in my phone. And I would look at that notepad and I'll be like, I met Yesenia at the local park. So that way, whenever I talk to her, I know where we met at. So that way when she called me like, oh, hey, Tony, this is Yesenia. Who? Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Mindset Master Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Reed, and I'm also the proprietor of the podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to build a network of friends up. Because in life, we all need people that we can lean on and that we can rely on in our time of need. Because it's going to be a time of need that we're all going to go through. Whether it's a financial time, a hardship time, something like that, we're always going to be going through things in life because we're human, and that's part of being human, to go through certain things. When you go through certain things in life, you never have to go through certain things in life alone. So it's best to always have at least 1 to 2 people who you can actually lean on and who you can actually rely on. You may be thinking to yourself, Tony, I don't have a group of people I can lean on. I don't have a group of people that I can rely on. I don't know how to meet people. I don't know how to mingle with people. I'm not a sociable kind of person, Tony. So what do I do? Well, if you're thinking like that, this episode is going to be exactly what you need, because in this episode I'm going to be discussing a simple 4-step formula that I have created that can allow anybody, regardless of where you are in life, whether or not you're introvert, extrovert, you're a shy person, a timid person, none of that right there matters. The only thing that actually realistically matters in this whole story is as long as you implement the things that I'm implying that you should implement, as long as you do that, everything else will be golden. And if you want to learn more about this topic, stay tuned to the end of this episode. Let's get into the number one thing on the 4-step formula that you should do if you want to build a friendship with somebody. The number one thing is you have to want to be friends with that person. See, as humans, we're very sensorial creatures, and we know when somebody is playing us to the left or to the right. We naturally know. If you want to build a friendship up with people, if you want to build a kind of friendship up that it's like a lasting, long, lifelong friendship with somebody, and you can go up there and call them anytime that you need them, and they can call you anytime they need you, vice versa, then please listen to what I'm saying and take a notepad and jot down the answers and stuff like that I'm giving you, because this is evergreen content right here. This content is perfect for 2024, and this content can be perfect for 2054 also. So please make sure to take what I'm saying into real consideration, because I've been around a lot of people in my life. I've owned my own business, as far as my own barbershop, my own coaching consulting company, my own customer service company. I've owned various things which allowed me to build a lot of lasting friendships. A lot of my friends I can call right now at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they would give me bail money if I needed it. And the reason that is because of the relationship that I've built up with these good people. Let me go right into this episode. You have to want to make a friend with somebody. That's the number one thing when you're trying to build a friendship with somebody. You have to want to be friends with that person. If that person isn't a good person and you don't kind of want to be friends with them, then there's nothing else that can be done that can make you want to talk to that person. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. About 3 months ago, me and my wife started working out here every day at the local park. We would always see this couple that would walk by, and they had the same like 7 a.m. time slot that we would work out. We would be seeing them, and every day we would see each other. We were speaking, hey, how you doing? Kind of small talk. One day they both decided to stop and talk to me and my wife. So they looked like a good couple, but it was one thing that threw off me really wanting to be their friend. And that was because they argue a whole lot. Every time we would see this couple, they would be cursing each other out. Oh, you stupid B. Oh, you MFer. Oh, this. Oh, that. I was like, oh my God, like I can't can't believe that he's talking to his wife like that. So when they stopped and asked me and my wife for our phone number because we look like the kind of couple that would be like them, we told the people we not from here. We made up all kind of excuses so that way we didn't have to necessarily hurt their feelings, because that particular couple wasn't a couple that I would be intrigued to really want to be friends with, because I can see it now. What if we get over to their house and then he cusses her out and she stabs him? Now me and my wife is in a court situation that we have absolutely nothing to do with. Now that's gonna be time, effort, money that we done lost that we can never get back because we decided to spend time with a couple who we knew wasn't on the same par level. Not that we're better than anybody, but stuff like that, if you see that in the beginning of you're trying to be friends with somebody, you're gonna put yourself and you're gonna put your family at harm's way, because now you gotta go back and forth to court, you gotta miss work, you gotta go do all of this old silly stuff because you got wrapped up with this couple here who you knew wasn't a good couple to begin with. When you talk to people, you have the option to want to be their friend. And see, as humans, we know when somebody is playing us to the left or to the right. So that's going to be the number one thing when you want to build a friendship in life with people that's a long lasting friendship, is you have to want to be friends with that person. You just can't be like a one-way trip where the person wants to be friends with you, but you don't want to be friends with that person. That relationship is not going to blossom and bloom. Don't be the kind of friend that's just a user, that's just a taker. And see, that goes back to you genuinely have to want to build a relationship with that person. You have to build a true monumental connection with them. My friends, I could call them whenever I need to call them and they will help me. They can also call me whenever they need me and get bail money from me whenever they need to. See, it has to be a reciprocating factor. That's the only way how you would ever, and I mean ever, be able to build up a successful friendship, relationship, anything like that that involves you and mixing with another person. You have to put forth that effort, that meaningful effort. And so if you truly want to be friends with somebody, you first have to really want to be their friend. If you like this episode today thus far, please press that like and subscribe button for me. The second step in the formula to having long-lasting friendships is going to be never try to pretend to be something that you're not. Never try to put on a show, because if somebody wants to be your friend, regardless of where you are in life, regardless of what level or what stage you are in life, if somebody truly wants to be your friend, they gonna be your friend regardless of how you are and where you are. That's how you know the person truly wants to be your friend. Never try to lie to be friends with somebody. Never act like this is your Lamborghini over here when this is not your Lamborghini. You rented that from the Lamborghini place. Don't try to act like this is yours or you own this house or you're a property owner when you're not a real property owner. See, never try to do things like that, because when you do things like that, the truth will come out. I promise you, it will come out. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. So a few years ago, I was out riding my motorcycle and I was at a local gas station, filling my gas tank up. A guy had came and had asked me to ride with me. I kind of took him under my wing. So we started talking and stuff, and I was like, hey man, this is a nice motorcycle. Would you ever want to sell it? He was like, yeah, I would love to sell it because I own the motorcycle. A few months later, I went to him. I was like, hey man, I want to buy your motorcycle from you. I want to give that to my wife. And he was like, oh, nah, Reed, you can't buy this motorcycle from me. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, I don't own it. I said, hold on, man. 6 months ago, you told me this was your motorcycle. He put his hand on his head. He was like, yeah, Reed, I was lying. And you see how that's what I'm talking about. If you get to lying to somebody, it's going to come out. Please, when you're trying to be friends with somebody, never start lying to nobody. Never try to make something up to try to get somebody to believe that you're bigger than what you are or that you got more going on in life than you are. Just be yourself. You don't have to put yourself down for nobody, but just be true. Just be genuine. Just be yourself. That's going to be the best way in order to build up that reliable friendship of people that got your back, and that if you need bail money, they will come get you out of jail in a moment's notice because they know that you are a truthful friend. If you get to lie into somebody in the beginning and then they need your help, you're not going to really be believing them, because it's like, man, he said he owned a motorcycle. Now, he said he in New York. How do I know he's in New York? How do I know he's not out there in Washington, D.C. or somewhere? I can't trust this cat no more because he lied about that he owned a motorcycle. So never ever lie to somebody just to try to make yourself look better than what you are. If the person don't like you for who you are, oh well, they don't need to be your friend anyway. The third thing when you're trying to build a friendship with somebody is to remember details about somebody. If somebody tells you that their name is Kenny, don't call them LaRon. If they tell you their name is John, don't say, hey, did you say your name was Tony? Because people are going to be like, ugh, how you not remember Tony? Like, that's a simple name. See, when somebody that you're talking to is delivering a message to you, please make sure that you listen to them and make sure that you pay them attention. Listen with intention. If people are telling you about themselves and you want to be their friend, you have to make sure that you listen with intention. If you don't listen with intention, people are going to notice you're not really paying attention to what they're saying. They're not really going to want to talk to you. They're going to be like, I had to repeat myself to you because you called me Jason 15 times when I told you my name is Todd. Don't have people repeating the same thing to you back to back to back. That's going to make somebody not really want to be your friend. And when people don't want to be your friend, they're not going to want to talk to you or do anything with you because it's like you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. What I do, if you have a name that's like kind of rather unique, I sound it off and I put it in my notepad of my phone. My wife, her name is Yesenia. Some people might kind of find that name a little bit hard to remember initially. So what I would do, I would put yes in my phone. And I would look at that notepad and I'll be like, I met Yesenia at the local park. So that way, whenever I talk to her, I know where we met at. So that way when she called me like, oh, hey, Tony, this is Yesenia. Who? You know, at that point, the relationship is spiraling down the drain because you didn't remember the person's name. You and the person had a conversation for an hour and a half at the park about the trees and the moon and the boats on the dock down here. So it's best if you want to build a friendship with that person. If you want to build a friendship with Yesenia, write her name in your notepad. Put a note, how you met them, what y'all talked about, so that way you don't ask the same thing. If Yesenia told me that she had 2 kids, when we go meet up again, I'm not going to ask her, hey, you say you have 2 kids, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to be like, hey, Yesenia, how your 2 kids doing? Because I would have already took a note in my phone about how many kids she has, where she works. See, it's best when you talk to people to remember things. Listen to people with intention. Don't just be talking to people just to be talking to people. So that's going to be the third thing that I recommend, is to always remember the details about the person who you're talking to. Now, the last thing in the mix is going to be to make yourself a memorable person. Now, in order to make yourself a memorable person, you have to use your life experiences. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's just say when I was a kid, if my dad took me to Six Flags amusement park and y'all had a good time, the person who you was talking to right here at the local park, they told you that they were from Kentucky. You can take that Kentucky trip that your dad took you on and be like, I remember back when I was a kid, my dad took me to Six Flags at Kentucky Kingdom, and man, we had the best time in the world. They had the best corn dogs there, and they got a place called Tequila Tacos. Man, those tacos are to die for. When you talk about things like that to people from their home state, if you take those life memorable experiences and you throw that back at somebody and you start talking about their home state, they're going to remember you. Let's just say you haven't really had a lot of travel experience in life. Then you could talk about somebody's car. You could be like, oh man, that's a really, really nice car. What year is your car? Oh, well, this is the 2022. It's the AMG series. That's how you make yourself memorable to people. Nobody is going to remember somebody who was at the park and y'all was just talking and y'all didn't have no commonality, y'all didn't have nothing to like, y'all didn't have nothing to talk about. All y'all was doing was just yabba dabba do. You know, nobody's going to really find that memorable. If you make yourself a memorable person by taking your life experiences and transmitting that into a very open and vocal way, that's going to allow people to want to be your friend. And see, that's how people start inviting you to different cookouts and different events and stuff like that. Because when you are a person that's memorable, people want to be around memorable people, because in life you don't really have a lot of people who are memorable. And see, that's going to be the whole key, the whole recipe to building a lifelong and lasting friendship. Number 1, you have to truly want to make a connection. Number 2, don't be something that you're not. Don't lie to nobody. Don't tell somebody that you own a mansion when you don't own a mansion. Number 3, you have to remember details about the person who you was just talking to. And number 4, you have to make yourself a memorable person. And that about wraps it up for today's episode. Until next time, I'll catch you later.